Hello everyone, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Keisha and today I'm going to be talking to you all about all the books on my December TBR. I should do like Christmas music. Tis the season for all of the holiday reading, and that is what you're going to get from me today, because while I may read some other books here or there in December, I'm really excited to read specifically holiday romances. So you're going to see a lot of that today, but this is mostly what I want to read during December. I've kind of been in a little bit of a reading slump since September, and so I'm really hoping that these books will help get me in the Christmas spirit and be a good transition into the new year for me. I am still going to play my TBR treasure game, but I am going to try to make the prompts fit to Christmas, and if I can't do that, I'm just going to draw another one. So I am still going to be doing that game today, and then I will talk to you all about some other books that I'll add on my TBR other than the 4 that come from these chests. I'm going to go ahead and start with the genre chest, which I'm really hoping is going to give me romance because that's what I want to read. So we'll see how this goes for me. All right. It gave me thriller, which, okay, let me do this. I can make this work. Jessie from Reading with Jess does a book club called Sleep When I'm Dead, and her book club pick for December is a really short novella called The Gift by Freida McFadden. Now, I've kind of tried to read Freida McFadden before, and I didn't really get into her writing, but this is a short book, so I feel like even if it's just like a 3-star read for me, it's something I can get through really quick. So we'll just make that work for the thriller prompt. Next up, I'm going to do Phone a Friend, and after I choose my friend from this jar, I'm probably just going to pop in a clip from later because it's just easier for me than trying to stop the camera and do it now. So I will let them pick later and you'll see like an edited in clip, but let's go ahead and see which friend is going to pick a book for me, and I am going to limit them to books that are on my Christmas TBR or like Christmas want to read. So I'm still going to get to read Christmas books that I'm interested in. So, y'all, you almost let me forget the song. Okay, here we go. Phone a friend, phone a friend, phone a friend, phone a friend. Okay. I am something. That's for sure. All right. So my friend this time is Keely from Vampire Keely. Oh, this is good because it's been a minute since I've talked to Keely, so now I can like play catch up with her while also asking her to pick a book for me to read. Okay, I have Keely's pick. I'm going to let y'all watch this real quick.
Okay, hi. So, first and foremost, my pick for your TBR. First of all, romance is my favorite genre, so I'm really excited. I'm going to choose One Little Chance by Rebecca Jo Jackson, I think is her last name, for multiple reasons. It sounds really cute. Rebecca is my mom's first name, and Jo is my middle name. So it like fits perfectly. But that is my pick for you.
So really another thing that's really funny that Keely didn't mention is that this book takes place in Texas, and Keely's from Texas. So I think that's also really funny. And okay, so this book, this is the book that Keely picked. It's One Little Chance by Rebecca Jo Jackson. And it is a novella, which I love because now I can implement this in something that I'll mention later in this video that I'm thinking about doing for this month. And I love the cover. I love everything about it. I love the cute little bow in the girl's hair. But this is a second chance romance. It's a clean romance, and I'm really excited for this one. I think this is also a book that takes place in Sweet River, which is where this author's other books are set, but I haven't read those. But I might read them if I like this one. The story follows our main character, Sophia, and she has been away from home for 8 years, and she is coming back on the day before Christmas, and no sooner than her suitcase hits the pavement does she run into her childhood sweetheart and best friend, Jordan Silk. And that is not the only place that they run into each other. They end up running into each other on New Year's Eve and at some of their old favorite spots. And they kind of come to find out it's not really life that's bringing them together so much as it is the fact that they really probably shouldn't have split up in the first place. And I love a good second chance romance story, so I'm really excited for this one. Again, I love that it's a novella. So Keely, thank you so much for picking this one. I just feel like it's going to be such a cute one, and if it's a good one, maybe you can pick it up too since you love romance so much. Next up is going to be the emoji chest, and I'm really curious how this one is going to work out because I don't know what emoji I'm going to pick. So here we go. Okay. So the emojis, okay, that's the last one left. So we're just going to do this one. Emoji or emojis, we'll see. Okay, this one has like a piece of cake. It's like a strawberry cake, it looks like. So I'm wondering if I have anything that would fit. Okay, look, I love when this happens. Like, this is just the work of God. And I love when this happens. Okay, so I'm going to make this work because, look, there is a cake and it's like strawberry colors. It's like similar colors to this. So, what do you know? Okay, so the book that I'm going to be choosing for this strawberry prompt is Crimes and Covers by Amanda Flower. This is the 5th and final book in the Magical Bookshop Mystery series by this author, and I have absolutely loved every single minute of reading through this series. I actually have buddy read most of these books with Gabby from Gabbing About Books, and we are going to be buddy reading this month as well. So this ended up being a great pick. So if you don't know, this book follows our main character, Violet, and Violet and her grandmother own this bookshop in Cascade Springs, which is very near Niagara Falls, and it is called Charming Books for good reason. So Charming Books is a little bit more of a whimsical bookstore or a magical bookshop of sorts, where these books just kind of fly off the shelves, not necessarily like very obviously, but they kind of appear for the right person whenever somebody is looking for a specific book. I've really enjoyed this series. Again, it has been just phenomenal. I think if you're looking for a good, whimsical, fun, bookish read, definitely check this series out. I do have the first one down here just in case you're curious. It is Crime and Poetry. And some of these are seasonal, but this first one I feel like you can start off with whenever. There's a fall one, and this one does take place around Christmas and a wedding, which I'm so excited for. So I'm glad that this one got picked from my TBR chests. And the last chest is seasonal, so I just switched out these prompts from fall, and now we have winter prompts. A couple of them are Christmas prompts. I just figured I could take them out if they don't get drawn this month, but we'll see what I get. And again, if I can't fit it, I'm still just going to pick another one. So I don't know why I'm even doing this, but it's just fun. It's fun to see what I'm going to get and how I can pair it with books. So here we go. I keep hitting this, so just ignore that. All right, let's see what prompt we get. Okay. All right. So I have chosen white cover. So I'm going to say it has mostly white on the cover. Maybe that'll work. Guess what? I don't have one with mostly white, do I? Wait, it says white cover. Why did I not put white on the cover? Okay, well, I want it to be white on the cover. So we're just going to let it be that because I said so. So throwing that one away, and that's what we're doing. We're going to do white on the cover because I can do what I want. This is my game. So let's see, which one has the most white on the cover? None of them, honestly, but okay. Let's just do this. I'm going to do this one. We're going to do Christmas at Fireside Cabins by Jenny Hale. There's some white, there's some snow. Again, my game, my rules. So this book has been on my TBR for a couple of years now, ever since I heard my friend Caitlin talking about it. I think she gave this book 4 stars and she really enjoyed it. It follows our main character, Lila Evans, and Lila's father passed away and Christmas has just not been the same since. So she and a couple of her closest friends decide to take this road trip to this snowy cabin setting up in the Tennessee mountains for a little bit of a getaway. But when they get there, they notice that the cabins are a little bit in disarray and it seems like they might be going out of business. And so they end up trying to help save the cabins. And along the way, Lila meets someone that she might start falling in love with. And he might be a little grumpy. He might also own a coffee shop, and he might also be very reminiscent of Luke from Gilmore Girls. Okay, now that we've gone through the chest, let me go ahead and tell you what else I'm going to be reading this month. So I do have another cozy mystery on my list. This one is Red and Gone by Allison Brook. Now, was it last year? I think it was last year. I read the first book in the series, which is Death Overdue, and this is the first in a haunted library mystery series. This is the perfect book to read around Halloween, so I really hope this is the perfect one to read around Christmas season. I love that these are like seasonal cozy mysteries and they go with the seasons, but I did miss out on continuing last year, so I need to try to catch up before I forget everything. But this follows a librarian named Carrie Singleton. She's like the new programming librarian at this library, and there is a paranormal element to this, but it's very light and fun. There's like a little ghost companion that follows her around the library and helps her out. I'm not going to tell you who it is because I think it's fun to find that out, but it is absolutely adorable. The next book on my TBR is one of my top priorities this month. I'm so excited for it. So you all probably already know what it is. That is Courtney Walsh's new book, Christmas with a Crank. And I'm really excited because this actually got picked to be my friend Jordan from Jordan Elaine's Patreon book club book for the month. So I get to read it with friends, and I'm overjoyed about that because I love just being able to share Courtney Walsh's stories with other people because she is my favorite romance author. She always writes really sweet, clean romances with no smut and no language, and they're just absolutely adorable, and she's really funny. Like, this is my type of humor. I really don't want to know a lot about this going in, so I'm just going to give you all as much as I know and not read the back. But I know that this is a second chance romance. I believe this was like friends to lovers originally, or at least these two were in love when they were younger. And 20 years later, I think they kind of come back together, have a second chance romance at a Christmas tree farm. That's all I know about it, and that's all I need to know because those are two of my favorite tropes and things. So I really hope that this is going to be a 5-star read for me, but if you know me, you know that Courtney Walsh is always at least a 4-star, so I know this is going to be a great read either way. The last physical book that I have here is The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Allie Carter. I've never read anything by this author before, but I know that she previously wrote The Blonde Identity, which does intrigue me and kind of gives me Finley Donovan vibes, so maybe I would enjoy that one too. I'll definitely pick it up if I like this one, but this really piqued my interest as soon as I heard of it because it's supposed to be like Knives Out with a rom-com twist. And it follows this girl who is a cozy mystery author and this guy is a thriller author, and they're kind of like workplace rivals. And they both get summoned to come to this estate by this other author, and that author ends up like disappearing in the night. Like there's a snowstorm, so I think it's going to be like a locked room mystery, and they have to figure out, did something actually happen to Eleanor, the author that invited them to this English estate, or is this a little bit of a test for them? So I'm really intrigued by this one. I am hearing some good things. I'm trying to hear nothing because I don't want to be spoiled, but I'm hearing that people are enjoying this, so hopefully I will too. I do have one more physical book that is coming in the mail. I just could not pass up this cover because it has a new special edition cover, and that is The Heart of Christmas by Latisha Sexton. This is the first book in the Dating a Denver Dragon series, which is a hockey romance, because your girl has been loving hockey romances this year. Before this year, I'd only heard of like Icebreaker, and I think there's another one. I can think of the cover, but I can't think of the book. And they are all like really smutty romances, and that is just not my cup of tea. So the fact that this year I found so many hockey romances that are clean, that I've really enjoyed, makes me even more excited for this one. So this is a just kissing, no language book. It's also Christian, which I'm really intrigued to see how the faith element ties in. And the synopsis says, sometimes life takes a detour. Millie Jane Brooks' dream of stardom falls apart when she can't catch a break in Nashville. With her tail between her legs, she sulks back home to spend a few days at her best friend's vacant house before facing the truth. She might not be cut out for a singing career. But Millie Jane isn't the only one seeking solitude, and when her high school enemy crashes her perfectly laid plans of escape, she's faced with more than just her current failures. Dex Hart is looking forward to a quiet recovery at his stepsister's house after a season-ending injury halts his hockey career. With questions about his future looming over him, he's hoping to find clarity over the holidays. But when he gets snowed in with Millie, the girl who got away, old feelings rise to the surface, stealing any chance of rest. Millie Jane's heart is guarded after Dex's betrayal years ago, but Dex has missed her sassy remarks and sparkling eyes too much to let the past ruin this second chance at love. Dex is determined to help her see that God might have another plan for her life and his. Can Dex break the walls around her heart in time for Christmas, or will she shut him out and run away like she did all those years ago? So those are like my top priority Christmas books. However, I did add some more to my TBR just in case I have time to read them. So these may not be the first ones I get to, or I may not get to them at all, but these are ones that I just could not help adding to my December TBR. And thankfully, I have a Kindle, which I've recently decorated for Christmas, and I'm obsessed with it. I love decorating this thing seasonally, probably more than I enjoy reading on it. But I do enjoy reading on it. I really like to decorate with the stickers. So thankfully, I have this, and I can get a lot of these books on Kindle Unlimited, or if I have like some digital credit, I can just purchase them and read them on my Kindle. So that is where I'm going to be reading the rest of these books if I get around to them. So the first ones that I want to talk about are actually a little compilation or advent of sorts of Christmas books. I talked about this in my previous video of a huge list of books on my Christmas TBR. I will go ahead and leave that link down below in the description if you missed it and want to check out even more recommendations. But this is the Christmas Kisses and Cookie Crumbs series. There are 12 short stories written by 12 different authors, and they release every couple of days. They started on November 29th. And I haven't read them yet, but I want to go ahead and start. The first one is called Christmas Tree Connection, and it's by Ellie Rush. So just in case you are trying to find them and you can't find them by looking up the name of the series, there's the first one. And it is set in the 1970s, which I'm really intrigued by that setting. And it follows Victor, who owns a tree lot, and Adelaide, who makes stained glass Christmas ornaments. And I think they're going to team up to try to beat their competition, or at least Victor's competition with his Christmas tree lot. And I think there's going to be a romance that happens along the way too. I don't know how long these short stories are, but since they're called short stories and not novellas, I'm really hoping they're like less than 100 pages so I can get through these. But they sound really cute, and so I thought that would just be a good idea to try to read those. The next one I have is One Foggy Christmas by Courtney Keisel, and I've been seeing this one around and everybody seems to be loving it, so I feel like I cannot miss this one this Christmas. So all I know about it is that it has the amnesia trope. There is this married couple, and the wife has a skiing accident, and she ends up having amnesia, and she can't remember her husband Nash. So Nash is trying to make his wife fall in love with him all over again. I love the win your wife back trope. I don't read that very often, and I actually don't read a lot of romances with married couples. So I love that this one is a little bit different. You don't have like a relationship that is growing necessarily like beforehand, or like just dating, or a slow burn. You have more of an already established relationship, but that, I mean, I guess they are still going to have to like come back together, but I love knowing that they're already a couple, and then it's just like trying to rekindle that love. So the bad thing about this is that the wife doesn't remember her husband or anything about their relationship, but she remembers her ex. So I feel like that's going to add some drama to the story. But again, I've heard so many good things about this, so I'm very excited to read One Foggy Christmas. The next one I knew I had to prioritize after my friend Jordan said she really loved this one. So this is Cabin Crush by Kasey Stockton, and it is the first book in the gift wrapped romance Christmas like companion series by different authors. This one is Brother's Best Friend, Unrequited Love. It's a clean rom-com, and because I don't have any like Brother's Best Friend romances on my TBR this year, I felt like I needed to add this one because it has two things that I love, that being one of them. And the second one is that these families spend Christmas together in a cabin every year. And it reminds me a lot of In a Holidays by Christina Lauren, which I read a few years ago and I gave 4 stars. Now that one is a little bit more spicy. I wouldn't say it's like really bad smutty, but there is some language and it's kind of low spice. But this one gives me those same vibes, except it's not like a Groundhog Day trope. So we have Rachel and Max, and again, Max is Rachel's brother's best friend, and they always spend Christmas with Max's family at their cabin. So he has kind of brought in a steady stream of girlfriends every single year, but this year Max is single and Max and Rachel may just be falling in love. Now I do believe they did share a kiss like in high school, or they tried a relationship and something didn't work out. So this is a little bit of a second chance romance too, and it sounds really cute. The cover's really cute, and it comes highly recommended from Jordan, so it had to go on my December TBR. The next one is 12 Days of Mistletoe by Jen Atkinson. This cover really got me, but the synopsis is also really cute. It is a closed-door, enemies to lovers, fake dating rom-com with all the feels and mistletoe kisses, anxiety rep, and a meddling grandma, which we love. This follows our main character, Bonnie, and Bonnie struggles with anxiety. She has a service dog that lives with her in her apartment complex. However, you're not supposed to have animals in the apartment, and she meets this guy who's like the grandson of the landlord, and he threatens to turn her in for having an animal, but instead they find out that they can kind of help each other out. He won't tell about her animal if she helps him and comes to Christmas festivities with him, because his family, like a lot of families do with single people, is they say, hey, when are you going to bring home, someone with you for the holidays? When are you going to date? When are you going to have, And so she is going to fill that void, and they are going to fake date. The fun part is Grandma isn't buying it, that they are actually, in love, but I think she's also going to meddle a little bit or just be funny about it. And I absolutely love when that happens in romances. The last book that I have on my list is one that kind of came out of left field for me. I've seen a couple of people post about this on Instagram, and the cover and the title just really drew me in. I wasn't really sure if it would be one I was going to be interested in, but honestly, I think it could be one that I really love. So this is called Christmas in the Castle Library by Swindell. It is a Christian fiction book that has a little bit of a historical element, a little bit of mystery, and a light romance. So it follows our main character, Ellie Sawyer. And Ellie likes books more than people, and this really shows in the fact that she is pursuing her PhD in history, and she spends a lot of time in history books. And right now she is currently working on research for her doctoral dissertation, and the final books she needs are in a European kingdom called Leathersby. And there is a secretive royal castle library that is only accessible to her during the Christmas holiday. So she has to go there, and she's trying to, in her dissertation, solve a mystery that Leathersby scholars have not been able to solve for more than a century. And that is what happened to their long lost queen, who was a young royal who disappeared shortly after the outbreak of World War I. While she is at this castle and in the library doing research, which this just has such a classic feel to me, so I love that setting, but she meets this handsome castle staff member called Mark, and he is going to help her out. He also shares a love of history, but he is also keeping a secret from Ellie. What they discover together could change everything for Ellie and also for the kingdom of Leathersby. So again, this is a little bit of a different read for me, but the cover, the title, and the synopsis all sound really intriguing, and I love that it's like a mashup of genres. So if I do get to this one, hopefully I will really enjoy it. All right, friends, that is going to be all for my Christmas December TBR for the year. I may end up adding a few more books, and I may not. We'll just have to see. I have toyed with the idea of doing a Christmas novella reading vlog because I just recently read a Christmas novella and I gave it 3 stars. So I'm a little bit curious if I would give a Christmas novella 5 stars, if that's even possible. So I may end up doing like 5 books in a vlog that are all novellas and see if I can find a 5-star. But we shall see what I'm feeling like in the month of December. I am still in a very much slower pace than normal for me, so we'll see what I end up reading. But if you made it this far in the video, I would love for you to leave a snowman emoji for me down in the comments, because I'm really hoping for some snow this year. Maybe not in December, maybe like January going back into spring, and I want it to be enough to get me out of work because it wouldn't be worth it. I don't want to get out in it, it's messy, but I am praying for snow, and so I would really like a snowman emoji in the comments for good luck and hopefully some snow. Additionally, I would really love to know what book you are most excited to get to this Christmas season. Even if it's not a Christmas book, just let me know that also in the comments. But as always, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, friends.